Welcome to the video tutorial for authors and editors on how to properly format a chapter. Please note that for this video tutorial we are using Microsoft Word 2010. Setting up the software for Microsoft Word 2010 can be viewed in this video tutorial. If you use a Mac or some other word processing software, please consult your software help guide for more information on how to properly set up the software. The first thing that we will look at is how to set up your software to measure in centimeters. To do this, go to the File tab, choose Options. In the dialog box, choose Advanced. Scroll down to Display. In Show Measurements in Units of, please choose centimeters and click on OK. Next, we will want the software to be able to read your chapter using UK English. Under the Home tab, choose Select All. Click on the Review tab. Click on Language. Click on Set Proofing Language. And then double-click on UK English. Next, we will take a look at the page size and margins for your chapter. On the Page Layout tab, choose the diagonal arrow at the bottom right corner and click. On the Margins tab, top, bottom, left, and right should all be set to 1.5 centimeters. The orientation should be set to portrait. On the Paper tab, please make sure that under Paper Size, either A5 is in this window or that the width is set to 14.8 centimeters and the height set to 21 centimeters. On the Layout tab, please make sure there's a check mark in the box beside different odd and even and different first page on headers and footers. Set your header to 1 centimeter and the footer to 0. Vertical alignment should be set to top and click OK. Next, we will take a look at the fonts that are used in the chapter. Starting back at the Home tab, you will see that the title of the chapter should be set to Times New Roman 12-point bold font. The author's name should be Times New Roman 12-point italics. The word abstract, Times New Roman 10-point bold. Abstract text, Times New Roman 10-point. The words key, words, and the colon, Times New Roman 10-point bold. The 5 asterisks, Times New Roman 10-point bold. Subheadings should be set to Times New Roman 10-point bold. Please note, if you use subheadings, that as long as they are numbered subheadings, such as this, it will appear in Times New Roman 10-point bold. If you use lettered subheadings, the subheadings will appear in Times New Roman 10-point regular font. The word Notes is in Times New Roman 12-point bold. The note entries should appear in Times New Roman 10-point. The word bibliography will appear in Times New Roman 12-point bold. Bibliography entries will appear in Times New Roman 10-point. If you use other divisions for your reference section, such as in this one, the word filmography, it will appear in Times New Roman 12-point bold. And in the bio area, the bio will appear in Times New Roman 10-point with the author's name in bold. Please note that when you're creating your bibliography and note entries, some of the fonts will appear in italics. So please do not choose all of these and set the font strictly to read Times New Roman 10-point regular, or you will lose all of the formatting of, say for instance, book titles. Next, we will talk about line spacing. Between the title and author's name is a single 10-point line. Between author's name and the word abstract, single 10-point. Between the end of the abstract and the keywords, single 10-point line. Between the bottom of the keyword section and the asterisks is a 10-point line. Between the asterisks and the subheading is a 10-point line. Please note here that if you're using your cursor and the Enter key to make the single line space, if you hit the Enter key, you may end up with black dots across your page. To fix this, simply hit the backspace key one time. But note now we have an extra line space, so all you will need to do is hit the Delete key one time. Please note that there are no single line spaces between paragraphs. Yet at the bottom of the last paragraph and the next subheading, you will want a 10-point blank line. All offset quotes between the sentence above and the offset quote will have a single 10-point line. And below the offset quote will be another 10-point line. Between the last sentence of your text and the word notes is a 10-point line. Without changing the page view to draft, we cannot change the size of the line below the word notes. Please note that there are no blank line spaces between note entries. However, below the last note entry and the word bibliography is a 10-point line space. Between the word bibliography and the first bib entry is a 10-point line space. Each bibliography entry will be separated with a 10-point line space. And the author's bio will have a 10-point line space above it. The last thing that we will talk about is margins and paragraph settings. The word abstract, the keywords, and all subheadings will be set flush left. The actual abstract text has no indentation, should appear as one block paragraph, and be set to justify on paragraph settings. The keyword section should not be indented. The full stop after a subheading number, the actual subheading title, should be indented to 0.5 centimeters. All paragraphs are to be set to 0.5 centimeters. Offset quotes, which are quotes that are 30 words or longer, should be set to 1.27 centimeters on both left and right sides. And the way to do this is to simply place your cursor at the beginning, end, or anywhere in the middle of an offset quote. Click the down arrow on Paragraph Settings under the Home tab, and an indentation both left and right set to 1.27 centimeters. Special should be set to none, and line spacing should be set to single. Please note that no note or bibliography entries for an ebook or hard copy chapter are to be indented. They are to be set to justify, and the entire chapter paragraph settings should be set to single line space 0 point above and below. And the way we do this is to go back to the Home tab, click Select All. On the paragraph settings, click the down arrow. Under line spacing, choose single. Click the up arrow once at the before, once at the after, to be sure that they are both set to 0 points above and below, and click OK. The last thing we will talk about is the header section. Double-click on any of the headers. The even page headers will contain the main title of your chapter. As you will note, this is the portion before the colon. This should appear in Times New Roman 10-point italics. The line below is an underscore line, Times New Roman 10-point italics. Please make sure that this is not set as a page border. In order to change this, select both the line above and the text above and the line below. Go to Page Layout. Go to Page Borders. Click on the first tab and select None. Click OK. This line is made by using the underscore key. All odd pages should contain the author's first and last name, with the paragraph settings the same and the font settings the same. So it will be a Times New Roman 10-point italic line, and the author's name will appear in Times New Roman 10-point italics as well. The page numbers are always set to Times New Roman 10-point. And that concludes this video tutorial on how to properly set up your chapter.